Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we've got recaps of E3 2015, starting with the rundown.
Plus, Batman Arkham Knight gets unmasked in our review.
And then Pixar's emotional new movie gets turned inside out with a behind-the-scenes look.
Eat this!
Also coming up, we go deeper inside out with a review of the film. We tell you what we think of Nintendo's E3 offerings and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. And today in the rundown, that includes my pal, Mr. Jose Sanchez.
We're talking about everything cool.
That's right. And E3 has been a sensation all week.
It's been cool.
It's wrapping up today, but before we head home, let's talk about some of the biggest gaming events that have happened. Now, we've talked a little bit about Bethesda and Activision and Ubisoft and Microsoft and Sony. Later, we've got Nintendo. What about Warner Brothers? What has impressed you about Warner Brothers? Feel free to bring it up.
Wants to talk about Warner Brothers first.
What's coming from Warner Brothers?
Batman.
Which we're going to have the review a little bit later on in the show today. Mad Max is also something coming up from Warner Brothers. Mad Max. Yeah, very excited about this game. I've had a chance to get some hands-on with it. You're going to have a good time running around. Destroying other cars.
I want to play as the guy that just jams on the guitar in front of the vehicle the whole time.
No, they didn't tie it directly to the movie. It's its own separate narrative, but it's super fun and super cool and very explodey. What Activision's got coming up, Destiny and Call of Duty Black Ops 3. You know, Destiny is more, it's an expansion. It's not a brand new Destiny 2 or anything like that. But it feels very fun and very cool. It was great to jump back in because I haven't been one of those guys that just kept playing the whole time.
One of those Steve Tillys.
Yes,
yeah.
There are several of them that we know that just keep playing and playing and playing, like Steve Tilley. And it's a game I think that deserves all the adoration that it gets. The expansion looks like it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and it's so funny with PlayStation especially catering towards the Destiny market. Now they're announcing this big thing with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Which is weird because usually you see Call of Duty at like the Xbox press conference, and now it's the PlayStation. Now they're like.
It's this age-old battle right behind us, right here.
The blues versus the greens.
And it's full on in effect. Now there's also a cool movement with all of lots of robots going down at E3, right? Like
sure.
that was
explosions.
Yeah, in many previous E3s we had bows and arrows and stuff like that. Lots of robots.
Dogs and robots.
Yes, dogs and robots. But Deus Ex: Mankind Divided looks incredibly slick. I'm such a huge fan of that franchise. I'm glad that Elias Tefexis is back in the game. He sounds great.
I got a no-kill order.
Yeah.
And it's the new augmentations and the more action-oriented gameplay that they're showing off. Incredibly cool. And I'm also
stick around.
Yeah, they've got this
stick around gun.
They've got this blade thing that shoots out of his arm, which is sick. And I'm also incredibly psyched. And I know you haven't touched this game yet, but I played a big chunk of it, Metal Gear Solid 5, and they gave us like a couple of hours to play this thing. And
Let's brag about it.
Well, it was. I couldn't put it down. Like, it was so hard to give the controller back. I was like, I want to just
because you were watching a cutscene?
No, I was playing. There was lots of horse riding. There was lots of taking out robots and taking out some pretty nefarious evildoers and, saving some hostages. And it was so freaking cool. And it's beautiful and massive. And it's likely one of our... Yeah, candidates for the best of the show here. So good.
Metal Gear, it's been a while since I've been let down by Metal Gear.
Have you got a game that, I guess we're going to be talking about our favorite games, but maybe something a little bit underrated that you think people should be paying more attention to?
There was this weird game that, I've seen something similar to it a few years ago, but now this is the first time I've really seen a new one. It's called Rock Band 4.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know. It's this technology, you play instruments and you get like a band together and everybody's jamming. I think the game I'm probably most excited about, even though it's not even out yet, it won't be out for a few more years, Shenmue 3. Can we talk about that thing happening? That's the game I am most looking forward to. That was announced here at E3. I'll get to play it in 2017, 2018, whenever it's done. Thank you, Yu Suzuki.
Yes, thank you, Yu Suzuki. Now, we're going to have more wrap-ups later on in the show. We're going to be talking about Nintendo's press conference and their presence here. But right now, it's time to go to our review of Batman Arkham Knight. This review is airing before the game comes out by a few days, and we don't want to spoil any damn thing because you want to, and I will say this, you want to experience everything and savor every single damn detail in this game because it is magnificent. It is such a great game. And, you know, obviously the expectation was enormous for this. This was my favorite franchise on the previous gen of consoles.
Favorite superhero.
He's my favorite superhero, and I love Rocksteady, and I love what they've done, and I love Kevin Conroy, and I love blank, and blank, and blank, and NDA, and embargo. There's so much stuff that we can't tell you, but it is so ridiculously, overbearingly enjoyable.
Yeah.
You get all of the Arkham Asylum stuff, you get all of the Arkham City stuff, and then you get a whole bunch more. And a big part of that is the Batmobile, and obviously they've been trying to hype this thing up for the whole sort of progression with this game.
But can we just say how the Batmobile actually comes into play here? Because it's pretty soon off the top.
It's like literally attached to Batman, and you have to use the Batmobile in so many creative ways.
Completely. But when you have that moment, when you have the Batmobile moment, it gives you chills. Like, video games rarely do this.
Right.
But it actually gives you chills because it gives you the option to even the score. Oh, how am I going to even the score?
Yeah.
I wonder. Oh, Batmobile rolls up. Oh my God. This game gives you so much power in the palm of your hands. It is amazing.
And that may be a bit off-putting for some of the established fans of this franchise because Batman is so powerful already. I mean, he's so much faster. His new suit just gives him all kinds of new abilities, and he just kicks so much butt. And then you get the Batmobile, and the Batmobile is a little bit ludicrous, and I will grant that. Suddenly you've got a car that can go upside down on walls. You can turn into a tank. You can actually do some kind of level platforming with this vehicle.
I shouldn't have to tell you this, but Batman has the technology.
This may be the game of the year. Very well may be.
It's for sure your game of the year.
Well, right now it is. There's nothing else that's ever even come close. How it stacks up with the other Arkham games, I still feel like the first one was the surprise one. It set the groundwork for all that was to come afterwards, so that still has a special place in my heart. But this is incredible. It's another 10 out of 10 for Batman Arkham Knight.
Surprise! A 10 out of 10 from Victor Lucas. Okay, I'm giving it a 10.
Okay, there it is. Yes! No, what are you giving it for real? You giving it a 10?
I'm giving it a 10.
Nice, 2 10s. Batman.
Batman Arkham Knight comes out next week. I can't wait to play it.
Listen, we've got to take a break, but when we come back, we've got a behind-the-scenes look at Inside Out.
Very, very exciting. I was up late last night figuring out a new plan. Here it is.
Welcome back to EP Daily. I'm a very emotional person. It's true, and sometimes my emotions get the best of me. But thanks to the new Pixar movie, Inside Out, I now have a better understanding of what's going on in there. Here's our behind-the-scenes look.
So that's how you want to play it, old man? No dessert? Oh, sure. We'll eat our dinner right after you eat this.
Right. Here comes an airplane.
Oh, airplane. We got an airplane, everybody.
Inside Out is a film that takes place in the last frontier, which is inside a person's mind. This particular person is Riley, who's turning 11. She's had a big, giant change in her life. She's moved. So we catch her when things start to change for her. And Inside Out is the story of the voices that live inside her head and that control her headquarters, and what happens to them when Riley changes.
Very, very exciting. I was up late last night figuring out a new plan. Here it is. Fear. I need a list of all the possible negative outcomes on the first day at a new school.
Way ahead of you there. Does anyone know how to spell meteor?
Riley, she's 11. When the movie starts, her family, this big kind of thing happens in her life is that they move to San Francisco. You know, it's a whole new set of friends. It's a smaller house. It's just that giant change in her life. So there's giant external change happening in her life, but there's also internal change happening as well, which I think everyone can relate to when you get to a certain age.
Riley, I do not like this new attitude.
Oh, I'll show you attitude, old man. No. Breathe.
What is your problem? Just leave me alone.
When I'm funniest is when I'm angry. It's always been that way, so it's weird, because it's a weird thing to be funny at. And it took me a long time to realize, and thank God the folks at Pixar could see that.
I wanted to maybe hold more.
What happened?
Sad
sadness.
She did something to the memory.
It's all about Riley. We love Riley, and so Joy is there to keep her motivated and going and looks on the sunny side of life. I think Fear, he wants to protect Riley, keep her safe. Anger helps to get you back on track if you've gone off. And Mindy, who plays Disgust, it's all about what's best for Riley.
It's broccoli!
The world that's created by this movie, these emotions which any person would feel at odds with at times and source of a lot of their unhappiness, actually are emotions that protect us and make us better people. And knowing that in anger you feel, or a feeling of jealousy or longing, knowing that those are all normal and in fact healthy, I think is a good message.
Just shut up!
Fire! That's it. Go to your room.
The foot is down. The foot is down.
Good job, gentlemen. That could have been a disaster.
Well, that was a disaster.
Inside Out is in theaters today. Now, I know what you're thinking. Just how good is the movie? Well, it's hard to tell from a behind-the-scenes look, so that's why we've got a review. Take it away, Vic and Marissa.
This place is huge. Imagination Land? No way. Dream Productions? Rainbow Unicorn? She's right there. I loved you in Fairy Dream Adventure Part 7. Okay, bye. I love you.
Sometimes I wonder what little voices are doing inside my head when I'm fast asleep. And I've learned a lot about what they might be doing in Inside Out. There are 5 emotions here.
Right.
5 emotions hanging out in this little girl Riley's head. I feel like we all have those emotions as well. I think Pixar really did a good job in tapping into these emotions that control our lives and control the people that we are.
School was great, all right?
What was that? I thought you said we were gonna act casual.
It's interesting because you can feel the focus test and the research that went into deciding what the 5 key emotions are. We've got disgust, we've got anger, we've got fear, we've got sadness, and we've got joy. And they're each played by different actors that we know from other things, but what's beautiful about Inside Out, and I think in totality, is that the actors really blend into the characters.
Yeah.
They don't really sort of come out front and center. That's not a lot of showboating.
There are certain voices that are playing parts here, like Sadness, played by Phyllis Smith, who plays Phyllis, who did play Phyllis in The Office.
Yeah.
And I think about this girl because you wonder how some people will get work out of their jobs that they're in because you feel like they can't play anything else but that one character.
Right.
And she does such a phenomenal job of just playing Sadness because Sadness is such an integral character.
It's a pivotal part, isn't it? It's a really wonderful thing, and that's an illuminating discovery as you're watching this movie.
This actually feels kind of nice.
The little girl, her name is Riley, and she's the only child of a couple of parents that make this big decision to move from Minnesota to San Francisco. And in Minnesota, she's a star hockey player, and she loves the seasons. San Francisco.
And the pizza, and then you get to San Francisco, and you got pizza with broccoli on it. Because what do you do in San Francisco?
So it
Keep the broccoli off your pizza.
That's it. I'm done.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza. First the Hawaiians, and now you.
I fell in love with the little Riley girl character.
She's great.
Beautiful, and I like the parents and what they're going through, but the stars of the movie for sure are all of these emotions. And Amy Poehler, who plays Joy, I think, is the transcendent character here.
May I add, I love your dress. It's adorable. Oh, this whole thing, thank you so much. I love the way it twirls. Oh, thank you, Joy.
For sure, there's a lot on her shoulders here, and even she gets down because she has to pull up everything, all these other emotions, sadness, fear, anger.
Think positive.
Okay. I'm positive you will get lost in there.
All of these things are pulling her down, just like these emotions do in our everyday. They play on us with everything that we do. And I love that we're seeing this unfold in Riley's head. But I also love the glimpses that we get in her parents' minds as well, to see like the inner workings of those guys too.
And all of the emotions have grown up a little bit and have the same kind of style and the same...
Exactly. When all those jokes come in, you know that the kids are completely lost in the jokes.
What did she say? What? Oh, sorry, sir. No one was listening.
This is a true artistic, emotionally rich, fun, thoughtful movie.
It is fun. It could be more fun.
It could be more fun, for sure.
So it's just missing that for me. But other than that, I did enjoy my time with you. We had a nice little Saturday together watching this movie with a bunch of kids around us.
And the short, I Lava You.
Yeah, there's a little short beforehand with
Brilliant.
Cute, like just adorable animation. I loved it. But the girl behind us, the little girl, she might have been 6 years old, was like, I did not like that at all. The second it was over, it was amazing. I enjoyed it. Little girl did not.
That's a future co-host on Reviews on the Run.
I can't wait.
What are you going to give Inside Out?
Gets a 7.
A 7? Wow, gets a 9 from me.
You know, I can't wait to see what Pixar's got next.
I know what we've got next. A look at Nintendo's E3 offerings after the break.
I love Nintendo!
Woohoo!
Welcome back to EP Daily. Now, yesterday we took a closer look at Sony and Microsoft's offerings here at E3 2015.
And as tradition dictates, we had to take a look at the other big company, Nintendo. Here's an overview of what they had to offer.
Hey, Fox, do a barrel roll.
Yeah, come on, Fox, do a barrel roll.
Yeah.
Barrel roll? I can do better than that. Check this out.
As usual, Nintendo had a very different showing here at E3 with their digital event, and it was filled with puppets and cartoons and singing people and lots of dancing and music.
And let's be honest, we watched this only virtually, the same way that you guys watched it, because they just broadcast it over the internet. And this is what the most forward-thinking company on the show floor here at E3 is doing this year. You know, Nintendo always finds a way to make me happy and give me what I want.
Yeah, they're celebrating the 30th anniversary of Mario, obviously, with Super Mario Maker, and that's definitely the highlight game for Nintendo at the conference, for sure.
That knocked me out.
And what they did is they sporadically teased it all the way through the stream.
They did.
And then they got a nice deep dive at the end, talking about how they built it with graph paper in the beginning, and that's all sort of extended out to the experience that we're going to have as players and creators with the game when it comes. It looks incredible.
And that was probably my favorite moment from the Nintendo Media episode here, is the way that they deconstructed the very first level of Super Mario Brothers, which you really have to start appreciating the science of this game and how incredibly crafted it was. I mean, Miyamoto, a genius, and he's proving that he's a genius once again.
Entering Corneria's orbit.
I also love the way that Miyamoto broke down the origins of Star Fox for us and took us into the history of that. Star Fox Zero for Wii U looks phenomenal. I love the transformations of the craft and the R-Wing. I am also unbelievably excited. I think out of everything that Nintendo is showing, I think I'm most excited for, and I know you're probably going to sneer, but the Yoshi Woolly world is ridiculous, partially because of the Yarn Yoshi amiibos, and then what I discovered, if you put any other amiibo in, it creates a Yarn version of that character inside of the game. I don't know if it'll be for every amiibo, but it just blew my mind.
There were all kinds of amiibo references here. Amiibos are obviously part of the future in a very big way for Nintendo going forward. I know that makes you excited.
It makes me very happy.
I do not care about toys. Nintendo cares about toys. Victor Lucas cares about toys. I don't know if I still care about Star Fox, though, going forward. The thing that I admire and the thing that I learned about Nintendo this year, something we all knew going into this, and that is they'll leave projects behind like Star Fox 2, the way it got left behind. They made an open reference to that. Nintendo ships these games when they're done, when they're complete, and that's kind of the status of Zelda at this point.
Which is noticeably absent. Nintendo's gone on record saying they're taking a break because they want to come back and blow our minds with it next year. I don't have a problem with that, but it is missed. It does feel like there could have been more games specifically for the Wii U. It did feel that a lot of ground was made up, though, with the 3DS releases. We've got, a Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi crossover game. We've got the Hyrule Warriors game, the new Zelda multiplayer game, which looks super fun.
Yeah, they're all ancillary projects for Zelda. I mean, we're ready for the new Zelda, so we want to hear more about that. We didn't hear more about that. I also feel like Nintendo, unlike Microsoft and Sony, they kind of had a lot of bouncing boob physics.
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about with the Shin Megami Tensei and Fire Emblem crossover stuff.
These were the first boobs of E3 2015 here.
It was a little strange.
I know, it was strange for Nintendo. They're always on their own island. They only really care about what they're doing. They're not reacting to each other. That's for Sony, that's for Microsoft to do, to echo one another. Nintendo still does its own thing. The other thing that they do that's kind of incredible is they kind of find ways to make very cute things appealing to me, and that's almost impossible, I think. But I still care about so many of these characters. I still care about so many of these creatures that they've had on their roster for 30 years.
I know, but I also love the way that they celebrate the culture and the way that people identify with Nintendo, the revelry, the celebratory kind of qualities.
Just to see Miyamoto smile is priceless.
It was magic. And, you know, Mario Tennis looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, too. I think there's going to be a lot of really enjoyable moments and
a lot of amiibos for you to buy.
A lot of amiibos for me to buy.
Lots of them.
It's definitely Woolly World for me as a Mario Maker for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's Super Mario Maker. I cannot wait to make my very own Super Mario level and get you to play it, my friend.
Well, we're going to have a lot more Nintendo coverage and Sony and Xbox coverage in the coming weeks on EP. So
I'm not going to touch you anymore. That's it.
You can touch me.
Okay, I'm touching you now.
All right.
We're friends.
I wonder what's next.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time for our Twitter question of the day. This one is from Chris in Montreal asking, is there a game/app/program that can help with Scott Jones's love life? He suggests the new Doom.
All right, listen, Chris. Sit down because we're going to have a talk. Being in love and having a mature relationship like the kind I'm looking for is not easy to find, obviously.
I think you can play Doom in co-op.
Despite my best efforts. I always hope to meet a woman who would love to play Doom. If there are any women out there who are really into Doom. I mean, I'm at E3 right now. Who knows what's going to happen to me here?
Single.
I might have a good time.
He will shave his
It's
beard.
okay if I have a good
Single.
time. All right.
All right, listen, you can get caught up on all kinds of fun stuff, including all of our E3 coverage at epn.tv.
That's it for today, but we've got new stuff tomorrow, including a closer look, and I know this is going to make you happy, buddy. And Batman Arkham Knight is coming out soon. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dungeon Hunter 5, which you can play for free on iOS and Android right now.
Dark days are here, Batman. The prophecy has come true. From the ashes of Arkham City, the fires are raging, and Gotham is burning. I can see that same fire in your eyes. Before this night is through, that fire will consume you.